everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Thursday, November the 10th, race number 9 at Aqueduct. We conclude the card going a mile on the inner turf, maiden special weight for 3-year-olds and up. Our coverage is presented by DRF Bets. Let's take a look at this field. Please scan the QR code for race of the day access on your mobile device. The 7 Indemnify, 7 to 5 on the morning line for trainer Chad Brown. Blinkers on for the first time, hoping to get him over the top. He's going to face a horse that finished ahead of him last time out, Siege of Boston. I thought Siege of Boston actually had a far worse trip than Indemnify.
Yeah, I agreed. Siege of Boston outfinished him last time and did so. I agree with the tougher trip in the race. So we'll see if Indemnify can finally get over the hump. They're going to bet him again. There's no doubt about that. And he's run fine in his first 3 starts, but he's starting to get a little tiresome.
Yeah, we have a full field in here. 2 horses on the outside entered for main track only. Happy Bob and Tiger Town Boy. Either horse would factor if this race is washed off of the turf. Let's start things off down towards the rail with the number 1, Captain Quick, part of a coupled entry, breaking from the inside post and stretching out in distance. This horse was wired last time out, going 3/4 of a mile. Didn't show a lot of speed in that race. But Mike, stretching out, breaking from the rail can get better position.
Yeah, that's probably true. Maybe he gets a better trip in this race. It is worth noting the only time that they routed him on turf back in September at Monmouth. You know, he showed pretty good speed in that race. That was not a slow pace. He wound up getting pretty tired through the stretch, though. I think they'll probably be more forward with him this time. And he's run, okay in his last 2 starts, Dan, both wire-to-wire winners ahead of him. But, man, it's not like he had huge excuses. I mean, that last one, he just saved ground the entire way, sat on the rail. I thought he finished okay for second, but he was never close.
I wonder if trainer Leah Jarmati used the most recent race for the number 2, St. James, as merely a prep. It was his first start off of a lengthy layoff. They cut him all the way back to 3/4 of a mile, and he tried to rally in a race where they ran 1-2 all the way around the track in a slow-paced race. I think he ran fine, but that was also a $40,000 maiden. Not only is he stretching back out in distance, he's stepping up in class.
Yeah, that's what I don't really like about him, even though he might just simply be a better horse going a distance of ground, and he gets more ground to work with here, Dan. I mean, I think you have to ask yourself, how good is he? Even the races before the layoff going a little bit longer, it's not like he did a ton of running.
Our next 2 horses are also stepping up out of the maiden claiming ranks. We'll begin with the 3, Fazaro, and you have to wonder where the upside is with Fazaro. He's already had 14 chances, 6 on the turf without success. He is a versatile horse. He can go to the lead. He can sit off. He's basically pace adaptable. He ran okay last time out when 3rd from behind a fast pace, but this step up in class worries me.
Yeah, I can't see taking this horse stepping back up, because not that this is, the toughest maiden special weight field you're ever going to see, but it's still probably too tough for this horse. He's another one. He ran fine last time. It's not like he had some kind of huge excuse. Got to save a lot of ground in there. Did his best with the trip that he had, and he wound up finishing a distant 3rd.
And his next door neighbor, the 4, Bali Rhythm, also looks to be up against it from a class standpoint. Hit the board for the $40,000 tag 4 starts back, dismissed at gigantic prices in 2 maiden special weight starts, 1 at Saratoga, 1 during the Belmont at Aqueduct meet, and failed to really make much hay and didn't do much when dropped for a tag last time.
Yeah, just those maiden special weights 2 and 3 back, just dusted by Indemnify and Siege of Boston, who are both back in here. The only time that he even came close was a total meltdown race. They went a wicked pace in front of him, and he picked up some pieces.
Here's the number 5, Siege of Boston, who finished ahead of 3 of these in his most recent start when finishing 2nd for the 3rd consecutive time. Let's watch that performance. He broke from post position 10, and he just wound up 5 wide on the backstretch. He was 3 wide around both turns, and he's still in with a pretty good look behind a gate-to-wire winner that came back to score with a 95 buyer. 2 is outside, and the red and white is Indemnify, who saved ground in the pocket before getting outside with a look.
Yeah, I thought Siege of Boston ran well in here. I especially appreciate how game he is here, Dan, at the end, because it felt like Indemnify was going to get him for second, and he would not let that horse get by him at the end. I appreciate that about Siege of Boston. I liked his first 2 starts off the left. I thought he ran well in both those races, and I thought he ran even better last time.
While the 6 Celestial Moon finished 5th, was one of the also-rans in the race we just saw, it was only his debut, and it was a tough spot to make the debut. A 2-turn race against a very sharp gate-to-wire winner over a track that had some moisture in it. Add in the fact that Bill Mott does like to take his time with these horses, and I think it could project improvement for Celestial Moon, who basically saved ground and seemed a little bit green.
That's what I thought. He looked a little green, particularly early in that race. Maybe he just really needed that start, and he'll take a big step forward here. I don't even think he has to take a big step forward here, Dan. I just think he has to improve a little bit, and maybe we'll see him do that in this race. I didn't think he was hard to make a case for. I'll wait and see what kind of price he is before I decide to use him, because at the end of the day, I didn't think he ran great in his debut. I respect the fact that he could take a step forward here, but I wouldn't take any kind of short price on this horse.
The couple stablemate for the number 1, Captain Quick, is the 1A. That is Equal Justice for All. And Equal Justice for All is going to be shipping in from Monmouth Park. Third last time out over a very wet turf course at the Meadowlands. This one doesn't seem to have a lot of speed. I do have concerns about the class issues. I think he's facing tougher horses in this spot than he was facing in New Jersey.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And I can't say that I love any one of his turf starts so far. And I also don't really like, so far anyway, the running style that he's shown, Dan. He's just a horse who doesn't have an awful lot of speed. And I didn't really see him winning this kind of a race from last to first.
While Siege of Boston removes blinkers, Indemnify, the number 7, will add them first time for Chad Brown. I thought he had a good trip last time out, couldn't get to Siege of Boston. I thought he had a good trip in his career debut at Saratoga when part of an odds-on entry and could finish second. He's hit the board in all 3 starts. He's okay, and he could easily win this race. I'm just not sure how low I want to go on the tote.
Yeah, I feel the same way about him. He's run fine in the first 3 starts, but you're not going to find big excuses for him not to get the job done in any of those races. He was right there with chances. Wasn't quite good enough. Not that he ran terrible in any of them, but he's been odds on all 3 times. He's going to be favored again. How much more can you take?
Up next is the number 8, Aruba, who finished behind Siege of Boston and Indemnify when prompting that sharp winner from the outside. He returned to race again since then. We'll watch that race, and he worked out a similar trip, tracking the pace on the outside, outpaced here a bit on the turn, and finishing third behind a gate-to-wire winner. Maybe he's the one, if not for next-door neighbor Clee, to try to make the running this time around.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll get more aggressive. I actually was undecided about what they would do, because earlier in his career, he showed that he can be pretty effective from a little bit further away from the pace, Dan. And that includes, the one time last year when they went this distance on this turf course. He just missed that day with a late run. And his first 2 starts back from the left, they put him more forward in his races. And I personally just feel like he didn't find a really strong finish either time. If I was going to bet him in here, and I really don't think I'm going to, I would prefer that they just took him back and tried to make a run.
If you don't like the horses coming out of the Siege of Boston race, maybe Cleat is the one for you. Just looks like a typical Shug McGahee trainee, doesn't he? Lightly raced, getting better as he's gotten older. This is his 3rd start following a lengthy layoff, and he's now stretching out to a distance that should be very comfortable for him. I think he's going to be likely on the lead. Beaten favorite last time out, going 3/4. Maybe that distance a bit too sharp.
I guess they'll probably try to go with him. He didn't run very well last time, but that was a race where the winner was super, super sharp. Warfighter was off of a pretty long layup that went right to the front and never gave that field a chance. This horse didn't run well, but he wasn't ever going to win that race anyway. I don't know. I didn't like his 2 races last year when they put him on the lead. He came back from the long layoff. I thought he was really bad at Kentucky Downs in that 6.5 furlong race, a race where he was in a great spot. And just once the real running started, you could just see this horse had absolutely nothing. I'm just not sure how good this horse is, Dan.
Happy Bob the 10, Tiger Town Boy the 11. These horses are entered main track only. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF video franchises. Top pick time for our Thursday race of the day, presented by DRF Bets. We're both going to go with Siege of Boston to once again get the better of Indemnify, hopefully at a better price.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we're going to get the 6-1 that we got last time on him. He's going to be shorter than that, but I still don't think he's going to be the favorite. And he, to me, clearly ran better than Indemnify did last time.
Same triple for both of us. Mike's going 5-7-8 with the 9. I'm going 5-7-8 with the 6. It's our Thursday race of the day, the finale at the Big A. Good luck.